Okay, I just had a great call with Quinn, one of my obsessed members on the Sam Goulden Golf website. And Quinn and I had the conversation today that I had with Rob about 2 months ago about confidence and about belief and about birdieing every hole. And so birdie every hole, sometimes that sounds a little bit out there for you. Listen to this message and I think you'll get it at the end. So if you're a friend of mine or a student of mine, you've probably seen an email from me, and in my tagline it says Sam Goulden, birdie every hole, and then has my phone number. And today the conversation was about that, and was about how to see yourself as a performer and how to trust and believe that you can perform at a level that you haven't achieved yet. So what birdie every hole means is, and what the exercise I went through with Rob a few months ago and with Quinn today is, I said, Quinn, can you picture the first hole on your golf course? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, what club would you hit off the first tee? If you could hit the best shot, what would it be? And he's like, well, this new 5-wood I got, I really like. I'd hit my 5-wood off the first tee. And I'm like, can you see yourself hitting a beautiful shot right down the fairway? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so you've done that before. You could do that. And he's like, yeah, of course. So, okay, how far are you going to have out from your next shot from the green? And he said, probably about 120. And I said, okay, what club is that for you? And he's like, I think that's my gap wedge. And I said, okay, can you see yourself hitting a good gap wedge? Could you hit that green with the gap wedge? Could you leave yourself a birdie putt? And he's like, well, yeah, I usually do, actually. That's one of my favorite shots. I'm like, okay, great. So you could hit the tee shot and you can see yourself hitting that gap wedge on the green. And I said, then, is it possible that you could make a 20-foot putt? I mean, have you ever made a 20-foot putt? Can you see yourself rolling in a 20-footer? And he's like, well, yeah, of course I could. And then I said, so could you birdie the first hole on your golf course? Are you, Quinn, capable of birdieing the first hole on your golf course? And he says, yeah. And I go, and could you do that same exercise and birdie every hole on your course? And he's like, yeah, I could. I could. I really could. And so the question is, if you can, if it's possible, if you're capable of it, and you know you're capable of it, and you believe that you're capable of it, why don't you? Now, some of it's physiology. Some of it's just the fact that our body doesn't perform our intention or perform at its highest level all the time due to who knows what you had for dinner the night before, how much sleep you got, whatever it might be. Sometimes our physiology just limits us. And sometimes there are factors that aren't accounted for, like a squirrel could run across and knock your ball out of your ball's on its way to the hole and a squirrel comes across and knocks it out of the hole. That could happen. Some other factor that you didn't account for could stop you from performing at the level that you believe and know you can perform, at which you believe you know you can perform. And finally, most importantly, the biggest thing that keeps us from performing at the level that we know we're capable of performing, at which we know we're capable of performing, is our mind. It is our brain that says, yeah, hey, I know you can, I know you could, but you probably won't because you usually don't. And because we don't birdie every hole. That's not us. We make par here, bogey there, double bogey there. That's our game. So our brain and our mind has this paradigm, this belief that we aren't capable of doing it. And we need to tell that belief that it's wrong. We need to say, no, I am capable of birdieing every hole. I'll prove it right now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to remember that I hit a great tee shot on number 1. And I remember when I hit a great second shot on number 1. And I remember making a putt there that was 10 feet or 15 feet or whatever. So if I remember doing that, I have done it in the past, then I could do it again in the future. That's me, that's my body. I can produce that. Then I am capable of birdieing that hole. And you can do that exercise on every single hole on the course. So the only thing stopping you from birdieing every hole, outside of just physiology that day or potentially some condition that you haven't accounted for, is your mind. So the next time you play golf, try the birdie every hole mindset. I'm not saying you're going to birdie every hole. You probably won't birdie every hole. But if you can get out of your own way, if you can shut off that paradigm, that belief system that says you're not capable, and tap into the belief system which is real, which is true, that you are capable of hitting those shots, if you can tap into that, then you can play your best golf. And that's the birdie every hole mindset. So I hope this was helpful to you. If there's anybody that you think might benefit from this message, feel free to share this with them. If you like the video, of course, like it. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Happy golfing. Birdie every hole.